The Joker starts off with Arthur Murray, and Arthur Murray is a mentally ill patient who lives with his mother in Gotham. And Gotham is this very dreary, dark, crime-ridden city. The first scene, it starts off with Arthur Murray. He's looking in this very big mirror. There are people behind him. He works as a clown, and people are walking around in these very elaborate dresses. And Arthur, he's looking in this mirror. He's obviously very depressed, but he sticks his fingers in his mouth and he does this. And you can see he's very, very depressed. No words were uttered. But that's the beginning of the film. When you start watching this film, you find out very quickly that Arthur has a medical condition that causes him to laugh whenever he's in misery. Whenever he's in a situation that's very stressful, he starts to do this very awkward laugh, and everyone around him starts to just look at him in a very awkward manner. You could tell that he is very alienated, and it just makes for an extremely awkward experience. The thing is that the filmmakers, they want you to feel that. Joaquin Phoenix, he does an amazing job at making you feel that cringiness. Gotham is this very dreary, very dark city, but the colors, they really pop. The colors pop. It's just that they pop in a very dark manner. The characters are very, they feel, it's something about them that feel very real, but it's as though it's the most darkest versions of people that you could imagine. While Arthur Murray, he's this very good-hearted character, and every time he has to meet the darkness of the world, he starts laughing. He starts laughing, and you can tell that he's uncomfortable. Joaquin Phoenix, he really takes this. He takes this very physical transformation. He's extremely skinny in this movie, and his face just communicates so much depression and misery. I just remembered this one scene that was played in the trailer where he's holding onto the door frames, and his green hair is draping over his face, and you can just see him looking up, and it's this very twisted, very dark looking image. And the thing that really takes you away is that that's actually a person. That's not CGI. That's not special effects. That's an actual person, and he went through all of that in order to communicate to you what he's feeling, because he is a mentally ill person in a city that doesn't care about him, and he's trying to cope with his darkness. When this movie ends, I've watched this movie 3 times, and when it ends, I didn't really understand what it meant. And let me give you some background. In the ending, it's Arthur Murray speaking to a therapist, and he starts to laugh. And the therapist asks him, "What's so funny?" And he says, "You wouldn't get it." And I didn't know what the joke was. Now that I watched it for the 3rd time, I understand. And let me tell you what the joke was. As I said at the beginning, Arthur laughed whenever darkness confronted him. He laughed because he was coping. He wanted to find the small amount of light in this city of darkness. In the end, now that all of these horrible things have transpired, and he is at the end of the movie, he has started to see the darkness, because as he was laughing at the end of the movie with the therapist, he was imagining these dead bodies, and he was singing this verse about some people get their their happiness or slaps out of watching people being kicked, and he starts to smile, and that lets me know that he is that person. He is that person. And it's a joke to him that he saw those people dying. And so he made that transition of finding his happiness in other people's misery. And that's where he ended. He had a mental illness in which he coped whenever the hardness of the world came on. A lot of things transpired that caused a lot of misery for him. And in the end, he got his slaps, he got his happiness out of watching people suffer and being able to transfer that misery upon other people. And that is something I believe that the movie was about. If you haven't seen The Joker, you need to see it. It's probably one of the best character study movies I've ever seen. You need to watch it. Joker is fantastic.